Hello everyone, this is Tetrafolium and I'm here today to bring to you Iron Mugulis Open Top 6. Two of these gamers will be out at the end of this. The other 4 will be moving on, but 3 will be in the loser's bracket. First, let's cover the loser's bracket games. We're going to have Zinc on the left and Feele on the right. Zinc is a SPL starter right now. Feele recently got picked up for SPL. We'll see if this set has anything to do with that. I've got the legendary Pokemon music going on. I'm not going to lie. Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, probably my least favorite legendary theme of all of them. It's not that impressive to me. It's very much just like a remix of the regular wild Pokemon battle theme. But I'll get into my hot takes on legendary Pokemon themes probably throughout this video. Let's start. Medicham versus Salamence. Salamance's probably one of the best leads you could have into Medicham. Goes for hidden power. I'm going to guess flying. Switch to Zapdos. Usually you'll see that for offense teams that cannot really afford to let Suicune get out of control. Maybe they don't have like a dedicated special wall like Blissey or Regice to handle it. I mean, Regice could be seen on some offense teams. Okay, Body Slam gets the para on Metagross, and Zinc is going to stay in for an Earthquake as Feele just takes a Meteor Mash. Feele's going to save the Metagross. That makes sense, as Zinc just goes for an Earthquake. Gets a little bit of chip healing on the Snorlax, so not a bad play at all for her, as she goes to Suicune. And we'll see Snorlax of Feele's own as the sort of special wall there, so not completely ruined versus Suicune, even though the Zapdos is getting a little bit low. Oh my gosh, speaking of ruined, that is a critical hit on the Snorlax. Suicune is going to have to, well, coax the boom out. I think Zinc is probably running the Mana Medicham team. Drill Peck comes out. That's actually pretty good. That's going to threaten to kill on Lax. As we see Magneton, alright, last mon, probably Salamence for Zinc. As for Feele, I'm going to suppose that it's a spinner. No, it's actually Magneton of his own. As Feele's Magneton lives and kills back. Hidden Power Grass coming out to kill the Magneton. I think it's Hidden Power Grass. No, it's actually probably Flying. I think this team, you know, Blue Offense and this team are very similar to each other, and one of them runs Mixed and the other one runs DD. It's really hard for me to get them straight. Ooh, Suicune going down on its own theme here. That's very timely. All right, does Zapdos have the juice? No, it does not. Not even close. And that is going to be it for Feele's run here. So let's get on to the next set. No, I'm kidding. This is best of 3. Come on now. All right. Metagross versus Tyranitar. Not a great lead for Tyranitar. We're going to go straight to the Skarmory, who takes a Banded Mash to its face. Ouch. Crit almost gets there. That sucks. Swampert is going to come in, showing another mash resist. That's good. No raises, at least. Protect coming out, as that just gives a pretty free switch to Zinc's own Skarmory here. As Feele gets to his Skarmory, going to set up the spikes. Do you have a spin blocker for the Claydol? No, but you can go for a Toxic. Take a Psychic for your troubles. Drill Peck gets some damage on that doll as doll spins, but Skarmory's chip healing back up, can just throw down another spike if it wants. Will do so. And now it's back up to 25% from the brink. Imagine that. All right, Mash coming down for a solid 28%. Swampert going to Hydro Pump into the revealed Suicune. Zinc doing a very good job of repping her custom avatar there. As Surf comes down into a Blissey. So this may be Big 5 from Feele. We'll have to see. Wish. Interesting. Moltres. Okay, that's sort of what I thought. Wish is, I believe, the standard for Moltres Big 5 teams. Although, I don't know if I run a lot of Moltres Big 5 myself. Flamethrower getting the burn on Blissey, that's very fortunate. Gonna pressure the Blissey to have to soft-boiled early and probably to switch out here, as this Tyranitar is going for a Focus Punch into Suicune. Ouch. Alright, who's faster? The Tyranitar's faster, it could just get the kill here. Feele is not going to stay in, indicating to me it's probably a BKC Tar, which makes sense. Wish floating. Are we going to pass it to, what, the Skarmory? Yes. And Skarmory's back into this game. Off the crit from MASH. That's awesome. Suicune's theme music has gone away, and we're listening to Latios and Latios, which is... This isn't even a legendary theme, man. This is just the regular Hoenn wild Pokemon theme. What a terrible theme. Sorry. I mean, as far as wild Pokemon themes go, I guess it's okay. This Suicune has gone to +2 while I wasn't looking. Blissey is in. Is it going to force this Suicune to go to sleep? So, Seismitoss going down. Roar coming out. As we're going to find a Swampert in. That's not great. Feele has to save the Swampert. But Two Surfs probably doesn't quite get there on the Blissey, but it gets damn close. Whew. Have to go for soft-boiled there. Can throw out a Seismic Toss now if you want. Doesn't opt to do so. Instead gets a soft-boiled, and it's actually Lastmon Aerodactyl. That's a little bit more solid, in my opinion, than Lastmon Gengar. I'm just not a huge fan of the Big 5 Molt structure. Feels a little bit soft into certain things without having a lot of great offensive pressure. But the Aerodactyl definitely can win you some games thanks to its just penchant to hacks things. But don't take it from me, I'm not in this tournament at top 6, so... Didn't actually enter the tournament, for those who are wondering. We're going to see a switch to Skarmory here. 1 turn of Sleep Burn for the Suicune. We can easily go for a Roar as the Skarmory, as Feele basically went from 1% almost all the way back up to 100, is going to get to 100 at this turn. It's like having 2 Skarmorys on one team. Think about that. As Skarmory's going to Roar. Gonna pull in Zinc's Blissey. And Blissey's gonna eat a Toxic as a Wish is floating. Will we see the Wish go to Claydol? No, instead Blissey's gonna stay in. As we Roar it out, it actually works out really well. Into Skarmory to blank the Wish, essentially. That's really good. Claydol in. Can go for a spin, but it's going to have to eat a Drill Peck for its troubles. And Feele can just set another Spike down here. Will do so, as Blissey's in. Blissey could go for soft-boiled. It's actually going to go for a Wish and get roared out. Here comes the Claydol. Probably going to see a Roar from Feele here. Actually goes for a Drill Peck. Wow. I don't know if you want to let the Claydol get back up like that, but it's just kind of a temporary measure because Claydol's got that Toxic. It's eventually going to die in this game or be forced to boom, which is, I mean, essentially dying. Metagross in. It's actually nice for Skarmory, who could set another Spike. Gonna see a Roar? Yes, we do. Into Dugtrio last for Zinc. Alright, so this is V5 Metagross. I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was Skarm Beatdown. Kind of plays both sides of the field in essence. Are we going to get another Roar? Okay, I was wondering if we would see a third spike, but this is working out just as good, if not better, as the Skarmory from Feele's side is going to continue to heal up and got a bunch of damage on the Claydol. Claydol's not going to be able to switch into 2 Drill Pecks. Wish floating. Is Feele going to cover the Claydol switch? Just goes for Rock Slide. Alright, that's fair enough. That looks like banded damage to me. And a Toxic going down on the Tyranitar. If it is banded Tyranitar, then it's not long for this world. But the nice thing about banded Tyranitar with a Spike down, well, especially when the Doug's already taken chip, is that it's threatening to kill with Rock Slide should Doug Trio try to switch in. Nice switch by Feele to catch the Protect. There's not a Pokemon that loves to switch into Moltres here. I mean, Blissey pretty much is your best bet. But Roar is going to be nasty if that comes out. Will-O-Wisp also would have been pretty nice if it hit, but it doesn't because it's a great move. Gonna stay in and Wisp anyway. Could have risked a status on the Moltres, which would not have been good. Gonna Flamethrower as the Blissey Seismic tosses. That last move, it could be Thunder Wave. Probably is Ice Beam, the way that it's being played, I suppose. We're going to sack the Tyranitar off here and get the Aerodactyl in. A lot of things are chipped on Zinc's side. Rock Slide going to do a lot. Doesn't quite kill the Skarmory, but Skarmory's dead to the next hit. Protects on a missed Rock Slide. All right, well, I mean, you missed that Rock Slide, so obviously you can't miss the next one. All right, here's a real legendary theme here. Shoutouts to all the Reginald enjoyers. Oh my gosh, Rock Slide came out and got the crit on Swampert. I think that mattered because I don't think Rock Slide would have killed outright. Swampert could have protected away to try to get back into the game, although it was pretty low, so not like it was going to be able to do all that much should it even get into the game. Zinc is going to stay in with the Suicune, eat a Hidden Power Grass to kill the Moltres, but that's just one more thing that Aerodactyl has been broken for, or sorry, that Feele's team has broken for to allow the Aerodactyl to sweep. It's more so what I mean there. Rock Slide coming out on the Blissey. Does threaten the 2-hit KO. And does land to get there. But Blissey's not all that important for the rest of this matchup here. Doug Trio coming in. Sacked off to Earthquake. Is Blissey going to live Earthquake here? I guess Feele thinks so, at the very least. Going to go to Skarmory. Roar gets the Metagross in, who gets the Wish, which is really, really not good because it was in double edge range. Feele is saying, oh, that's a terrible 50-50 to lose. I mean, did you even have to go for it, though, is my question. I guess maybe you did. Ooh, Zinc is going to sack the Blissey off to the Skarmory here. Going to go for Rock Slide and miss, as Skarmory's just going to roar in the Claydol. You'd actually love to just lose your Skarmory to a Claydol somehow. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't know how you could manufacture such a case. Zinc going to switch to Metagross as Skarmory just clicks for a spike. That's kind of nice. And does manage to get the kill on the Skarmory there, but Claydol is going to die to the next tick of Toxic. It doesn't matter that you're locked in there. And Zinc going to go for Explosion. If she crit, she could have tied the game there. Unfortunately, did not manage to do that. That was a crazy endgame. Wow. It was pretty close. But Feele did just enough to win there. I thought he might have choked, but I didn't want to say anything. You don't want to jinx these games that have already happened, you know? All right, let's get into game 3. See what's going on here. Zapdos, Metagross. All right, Zinc Light advantage. Wow, that did nothing. And that Rock Slide did a lot. I think that's a defensive Zapdos versus a Choice Banded Metagross. That's the name of that Pokemon. It's only like the most used Pokemon on my scouting report. How do I forget the name? Commentary's hard, ladies and gentlemen, and all other lovely people. All right, gonna go for... You know what? No, we already listened to this. Let's listen to this. No, stop. All right, give me something good. All right, Heatran, let's go. All right, I missed completely everything that happened there as I was messing around with the music. Gonna get a Will-O-Wisp on Tyranitar. Is this a Pursuit Tar, though? With no item? Ooh, Black Glasses Pursuit Tar, in fact. That's so sick. Now Gengar's dead to the sand, which is really, really nice for Feele. Gengar's going to come in, die to Suicune, as Jirachi's going to come in. So looking like Superman from Zinc. Superman does not love to see Skarm beat down necessarily. I'm not saying it's like a horrendous matchup, but the Suicune, especially if it has Rest, is going to be a quite challenging Pokemon to deal with, especially with the Zapdos being so low. Lots of damage. But Suicune is going to be forced to rest here. Not quite yet. Has to rest here if it doesn't want to die. And it will. Zinc's going to find the entry to Skarmory, who's going to be able to roar the Suicune out quite quickly if she so chooses. She could get a Spike, but I don't know if it's worth it with the Claydol looming. The Claydol's at 100%, so yeah. Fire Blast coming out from Tyranitar. Dying very quickly to this burn. Oh, Zinc is actually going to take a Drill Peck on the Tyranitar on a crunch. So very nicely done by Zinc to call that out. A little bit risky. A Fire Blast would have been kind of devastating. And now Metagross is here. Gonna go for a double protect. Trying to catch a Boom. Feele not going to give it to her. Instead going to mash as Zinc is forced to roar. Claydol in. Going to spin. Do you have refresh? No. Doesn't matter. Can go back to Metagross. Saves the Spikes damage on the Metagross. Metagross HP is going to be a little bit important because you want to have enough juice to beat out the Skarmory as you're getting roared around with the Spike on the field. Are we going to see Feele burn a turn here? Yes. The Jirachi is faster, so it cannot go for Toxic. Gonna instead float the Wish as Feele's going to Calm Mind. Gonna Calm Mind again? Yes. What's your answer to +2 Suicune? Probably just Jirachi. It's burning through its wishes, though. How many wishes does it have left? 11. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be able to make its way through our buddy the Suicune here. But nice of Zinc to get so many of these plays right. Just attacking when Suicune is going for Calm Minds. Saving yourself some Protect and some Wish PP. Although, still only at 11. That's not great to be at. Alright, got a Metagross in on a Spike. That's really, really nice. Protecting to get some chip healing for the Skarmory. That's really nice. Probably going to see a Roar. Ooh, critical hit. I mean, it's bound to happen at some point. But, like, man, really brutal. Drill Peck. Trying to catch a Focus Punch. No dice, though. Feele's just going to go for a return. It may just be for damage, all told. Like, you don't want to switch into the Snorlax, so just get your damage with your basically dead Skarmory. Although you have Protect, you may be able to get it back into the game somehow, like versus the Claydol, for example. We do manage to find a kill on the Snorlax at the cost of our top 2 Pokemon in the tier, though, as Zapdos is going to go for Rest. Psychic, trying to get the kill on the Zapdos, should it have not gone for Rest. Gonna switch to Flygon on the spin. Does make me wonder if that was correct. Maybe burn a turn with Zapdos, then go Flygon to catch the boom. As it stands right now, Feele's Suicune is looking extremely dangerous. It is going to wake up this turn, as Zapdos is going to need 2 more turns of its own to wake up. Are we going to Sleep Talk and get the Roar? No. We're going to go straight to Jirachi on an Ice Beam. Freeze could possibly end the game here. Toxic lands. Suicune Calm Minding. You want to get to +3, though, in order to outpace Wish Healing. It does manage to do so, but Jirachi's just going to attack. Fire Punch. Critical hit, not for very much. Does get to +4 with the Calm Minds. Jirachi going to float a Wish on a Rest. All right. We're going to have to go to Zapdos. Oh my gosh, the Lake Spirits. This is one of my favorite themes in all of Pokemon, not just legendaries, but this is awesome. Ouch. That's, yeah. All right. I had to let the theme play. The intro is insane on that song. I love it so much. But the Suicune is even more insane. Going to destroy Zinc. And, you know, maybe 2 Suicunes was not enough for Zinc. Maybe she had to rep the Avatar 3 times in a row in order to win this matchup. But well done to Feele, actually. I mean, that's an SPL opponent you beat in a best-of-3. Like, see why they picked him up mid-season now. But to hard pivot to some players who are not in SPL. Maybe they should be, though. We have Halbert Simpson to the left. A up-and-comer in the scene, getting more involved in the team tournament series that is going on. If you want to know more about that, go check out Xtina's channel. She is covering it alongside myself and the opponent here, your girlfriend's next boyfriend, also known as Zets, also known as the thorn in my side. Let's see what this has cooking for us. Pomni, the Salamence versus Zapdos, as we switch to Gangle the Blissey and Zubul the Tyranitar. Getting sand up in the face of opposing Blissey here. I'm going to guess that Zets is running Evil Zapdos V5. Looks like that is the case with the Suicune coming out here. It's a team that would like to play sandless, but I think it can operate well enough in the sand. Kinger the Fortress. I know that this is the Amazing Digital Circus, but I have a confession to make. I have not watched any of it yet. Comment down below if I should. Oh my god! Hidden Power Fire Fortress with a critical hit on Skarmory. That's not nice. Gonna go for another Spike as Zapdos comes in. Did you know that Spikes is affected by pressure? So we're gonna eat through some spikes here from the Fortress. I don't believe that the pressure PP has been implemented. There was some talk about this, thanks to, once again, Xtina, who we mentioned earlier, trying to get this to be a more spectator-friendly esport here, with all the pressure mons not allowing the spectator to see that they do, in fact, have pressure, even though, I mean, obviously Zapdos, its only ability in this format is pressure, so there's no like, there's no, how should I say, drama in that. I'm not really talking about the game here, but this is going to be a slow game, so let's continue this tangent here. So when you play, you'll see that your Pokemon is losing however much PP it's losing, and you'll know that your opponent has pressure on these Pokemon. But it does not show it for the spectator because in Gen 3 it does not announce that a Pokemon has the pressure ability. I believe that starts in Generation 4? Or maybe it 5? Probably 4. Probably 4. I'm going to go with that. Don't know for sure though, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyway, Xtina argues that we're emulating the Pokemon Emerald experience. So if you're a spectator, you would be watching somebody like on their screen, so you would see the amount of PP they have anyway. So like, why ruin the spectator experience by not allowing us to see it on the simulator? I mean, I think it's a decent argument, and I do think it would be a great quality of life, especially for commentators as myself. You know, the charcoal and slate method of counting PP, it gets tiresome. And I have not even been doing it, so, whoops. But there was some headway that perhaps we would get this quality of life update, but it has not been implemented quite yet. All right, getting back into this game, we've seen that this is pretty much like a more standard balance 4E TSS team, but with an HP Fire Fortress. That's kind of an ABR McMegan type of tech. Those are two gamers I would expect to see that. So perhaps Halbert Simpson learning from the masters to bring to you this incredible Fortress team. But it does seem to not be matching up so well into our good buddy Zets' team, which is designed to PP stall. I think this team has a fantastic matchup into these sort of like balance squads, especially like the more passive balance squads, which I would argue that Halbert Simpson's is kind of that way. You'll notice that the Zapdos, it's got a very weird set where it's Thunderbolt, Toxic, Substitute, and Rest. Why would you have Substitute on a Rest Zapdos? I'm so glad you asked. The idea is that with pressure, your opponent is going to have to click a move to break your Substitute. So you're getting 32 PP drained if you can use up all of your Zapdos' substitutes. That's very, very good against Pokemon such as Blissey, who only have 16 Ice Beams to click against Zapdos 8. And you can kind of temper the damage that Blissey is going to deal against your Zapdos by clicking all of those substitutes. Now, if the Blissey doesn't have Ice Beam, you're getting through its seismic tosses as well. And if it has both, well, it's a little bit more difficult to deal with, but by switching between Zapdos and Suicune as your other Pressuremon, you can certainly make some progress here. I don't know if this team was originally built by Jonald, but I know a lot of people credit Jonald with it, and I would say that he's probably the master of the team. Even if he didn't build it, which I'm not saying he didn't, I just don't know for sure. I do know for sure that in SPL, he brought a version of this team where he drops the Skarmory for Dusclops, which is a level of insanity that I just have to respect. You're losing your spikes as a form of passive win condition throughout the game in order to triple down on the pressure stalling, and I got the pleasure of commentating that with Xtina. Xtina just keeps coming back up in this replay. How about that? For SPL, I believe it was week 3, so please go check out Xtina. I'm sure that, in fact, you already have. Xtina's getting bigger than me. Not by subscriber count, but by views, so, and which that matters more, let's be frank. I don't get any views on these videos, so I need you guys to like and subscribe. Don't hype this video, though. Hype my next video. How about that? Soft-boiled. Brick break. Yeah, I mean, Zets is winning this one quite handily here. It doesn't look like it because no Pokemon have died, and there's a Spike on Zet's side of the field, but he's burnt through a lot of PP. Halbert has not shown anything that is really capable of breaking through the core of Suicune plus Blissey plus Zapdos. Ragatha, this Monopert, I believe, is not going to... Well, not Monopert. It dropped... dropped Refresh and Toxic for Earthquake and Roar. But yeah, all Zets have to do here is just literally not get destroyed. Here's ooh, okay, this is Raiko's theme specifically. I don't know if you know this, but in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Suicune, Raikou, and Entei have slightly different themes. I mean, it's still the same melodic structure, like the same core melody and like all of that, but the instrumentation changes. So for Raikou, it's got that overdrive electric guitar, which I think is really, really cool. Hard for me to pick which one is my favorite between Raikou and Suicune. Unfortunately, Entei's is my least favorite of the three. It's also my least favorite of the three Pokemon. So sorry, Entei fans. I know. It's cool that it gets Sacred Fire in later generations, though. So I will give it that. As far as legendary trios go, though, Entei is not even close to like one of the worst ones out there. What would be my least favorite legendary Pokemon? It's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about that some more. I mean, we got plenty of time to think here, though, as we are turn 71. No Pokemon dead. Doug Trio comes in, finds the trap on Blissey. As Blissey revealed Ice Beam, it's actually revealed Ice Beam less. And you have Earthquake doing 51%. Blissey goes for Seismic Toss. It's going to die. Well, there you go. First Pokemon taken out there. That's really, really nice because... I mean, that's less PP for you to have to burn through as Zets here. Skarmory going to come in, take a Brick Break for its troubles. Not that there's much trouble going on here. And it's going to protect. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Going to Spike on the Fortress, who did reveal HP Fire. So Zet's not really respecting the HP Fire damage all that much. Granted, it doesn't do that much damage. Especially if it doesn't critical hit. And you have Zapdos to go to just threaten everything that you ever need. Gonna Toxic the Tyranitar. That's definitely gonna burn through this Tyranitar quite quickly here. And Flamethrower from Tyranitar, not even breaking the substitute from Zapdos. Zapdos is free to sub again. Does so. This Flamethrower comes down. Do you not have another move here to hit the Zapdos? Like, I don't think you... Zets is not switching to Skarmory. No way. Pursuit. As Zapdos is kind of just chilling here. Alright, speaking of the devil, this is Entei's theme. It's got a little bit more of like a slow build-up, which is, I guess, kind of cool in its own way. But I don't know. It's a little bit hollow for me. Maybe it's the harmony. I don't know. They also kind of restructure the call and response so that the response is a lot quicker, despite the tempo feeling a little bit more plodding. I think it's the base is kind of subdued there. Wow, okay. Zets is willing to trade down on that Gengar, which is quite nice. We're going to see an explosion to kill the Claydol off. That's probably one of your less valuable Pokemon. Is that I think Doug Trio is probably your least valuable Pokemon as Zets now. Gonna stay in, destroy that Tyranitar. That's really nice. If I'm Zets, I probably would just stay in and drill peck. Does so. We're both bad, perhaps, as Skarmory is going to eat that burn, and you're going to sack the entire Skarmory there. To what end? To get Dugtrio in, I guess? I don't know. Maybe you wanted Blissey in. Like, I understand that Blissey's quite good, but I guess you're setting up... Okay, you're setting up the Weather Clear for your Blissey. That's kind of alright. Gonna go 2 Dugtrio. And it seems that, yeah. Wow, it's a slow Dugtrio and a fast Gengar. Gonna get Suicune in here, who is going to Calm Mind. I don't know, Zets. Like, you're kind of risking a critical hit here. Maybe you just go... I mean, it's hard to go Blissey because there's not really much you can do versus the Gengar, since you're mono Seismic Toss. But we're going to see Swampert come in and Roar. Okay. Aromatherapy clicked. Earthquake clicked back. It's not going to do much. Blissey has a lot of HP investment as well, so that's kind of nasty. Goes for Surf. I guess trying to catch Zapdos coming in. It's not like it really makes much of a difference, though. I think Zapdos should be able to win the game on its own. Gonna go for substitutes here. I guess fishing for a full paralysis. Oh, okay. You can live a Dragon Claw there. All right, well, here's Suicune here. So we're getting the whole gambit of all of these legendary dogs, as they're called. I call them beasts because, frankly, they're cats, all right? Suicune's a leopard. Entei is a freaking lion, and Raikou a tiger, all right? Tell me what canines they are if they're not. All right? You can be wrong. You can be wrong. I will allow you that luxury to be wrong about it. Ice Punch comes down for nothing on Blissey. I think we're just going to see kind of just switching between Blissey and... kind of just switching between Blissey and Zapdos until this Gengar runs out of taunts. Does go for a taunt there on the Zapdos switch. Every time you switch to Zapdos on a taunt, that's just like a free switch back to Blissey, which is really, really good for you. I'm going to switch to Suicune there, actually. Okay. I wonder if this is chokeable for Zets. Because he is winning, right? Ice Punch could get a freeze. If it gets a timely freeze on something, maybe you could win. Although, Blissey, if you freeze the Blissey, it's not really that big a deal, I guess. So Blissey can always Natural Cure switch out, and you're doing, like, basically no type of damage, so you're just kind of running through your own PP there. As Halbert is going to forfeit on the paralysis click from Blissey. That's really, really important because you don't have the fast taunt to stop things like Zapdos going for a rest. That you get your Will-O-Wisp off on it, you can't stop it from resting. Can't stop the Blissey from soft boiling either. So, yeah, kind of brutal. I don't disagree with Halbert Simpson going for the forfeit there. Although, in theory, right, if you could just break through this Blissey, the Gengar could win, right? Well, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, ladies and gentlemen, and other fantastic people. All right, let's switch up the sides here. Gotta get the protagonist on the correct side, right? All right, lead Aerodactyl is usually indicative of a very defensive or a very offensive team. With Cloyster revealed, I'm going to guess offensive. Cloyster stays in on the Starmie as Starmie gets the Thunder Wave hacks that it so wildly needs there. I'm going to skip this tune. We're going to get Ho-Oh's theme, which is fantastic. I love this theme. Roasted Potatoes, the Registeel is in. As we're going to go to Starmie. Halbert's kind of just switching around to everything here. Not making much progress. I feel like Zets is in the driver's seat here. Although, no Starmie. That could be a big deal because there's not a lot of great water switch-ins for Halbert's team, especially now that the sand is up. But we're going to see Earthquake going down on the Metagross as Metagross goes for agility. And Halbert's going to sack the entire Aerodactyl there. I don't know if I agree with that per se. Okay, Earthquake does not quite kill, as Explosion does quite kill. All right. But you're down to your last 3 Pokemon here. If this is an off-me, oh, it probably is. We're going to see a switch to Tyranitar on the Snorlax. Very good call out by Halbert. Gets the Rock Slide damage. Earthquake coming down. Ooh. Might not kill the Tyranitar. This Rock Slide comes down and gets a critical hit. That's sick. That's so nasty. If you had Boom on Lax, you could have boomed there, and maybe Celebi is enough to win the game here. Hard to say. We're going to see HP Fire come out? No, we're going to see a Toxic instead. Might see a switch to Starmie here. If you get it, you're really good. All right, Thunderbolt, that's still fine. Does a lot of damage to the Salamence. And you switch into a Fire Blast. Really, really nice. I don't know if this is off or def me. It looks like off me, which makes sense. You have Cloysters, another Spinner. And Surf coming down on the Houndoom, who's doing the typical Houndoom performance of nothing in a game. Sorry, Z-Panther. I didn't mean to slander your guy like that. All right, Hidden Power Fire does get there on the Magneton, and all of a sudden, this is looking like a really good game for Halbert. Dragon Dance comes down. Oh, I don't think you can do anything as Zets to stop this bleeding here. Rock Slide lands and kills. You needed it to miss, essentially. And HP Bug is going to put the Celebi in range to die to Ice Beam. Well, maybe not if you crit there, but you don't crit there, and Celebi's dead. There you go. Whew. That was a sick one. Oh, Halbert's saying he boomed on turn 2 to try to just trade out the Skarmory, or into the Starmie right there. As we get Lugia's Beam, which I'm a known hater of, so there you go, my hot takes for legendary themes. All right. Game 3 with the anticlimactic Lugia music. I'm rage baiting somebody, I know it. Steven's Dream here. Great lead into Metachan. We've already seen that lead play out before. We're going to see a switch to Swampert on the Starmie, who is Recover. And Gyarados, uh-oh. I think I know what team Zets brought. This is Zets' signature team, Zets HO, which I don't know if I'm a big fan of. We're seeing a lot of switches, you know? When you're talking about a hyper offense team, you want to be clicking buttons, right? Supposing that this is even a hyper offense team, which some have said it's not. But last month's Jolteon for Zets. Zard is not going to be able to do much into the Salamence here. I feel like you should go for a Toxic if you're Zets. If this is still the same pace as from his video. Because I mean, you can't really... you can't, I don't think, fit Wish and Refresh on Salamence. Oh, stays in on the Thunderbolt. This is a modest Starmie from Zets, so it's going to be slower. Sand going up for Halbert. Another Fortress team. He's another double spin team as well. It's kind of crazy. Gyarados is the switch in for Tyranitar. Makes sense. Probably is a Pursuit Tar. Halbert is really, really wanting to click these flamethrowers I've noticed with the Pursuit Tar. I feel like sometimes you just want to take the crunch damage. Like, I don't know if you would ever switch to Metagross with the team revealed as is, you know? All right, Zets is not clicking Toxic. Makes me think he does not have it, but does get the lucky burn. That's quite good. Is able to make some progress here. All right. And with Sand up, Zard can substitute down into Blaze range. Although, how many... You only have 4 more Fire Blasts. You have to be careful about your PP usage here. Switches into Jolteon on the Dragon Claw. Swampert in. Baton Pass from Jolteon into Gyarados, who is a decent Pokemon to handle Swampert, particularly if it has Taunt. It's going to go for Dragon Dance, though. And you get Toxic for your troubles. All right, if you have Taunt, you're looking silly right now. I don't think that this does have Taunt, though. I think this is DD3 attacks, which it's not a set that I really like that much on Gyarados. But then again, I just don't really like Gyarados that much as a Pokemon, especially on a Magless team such as this. It's a hard Pokemon to support. This Starmie, I don't believe, has Rapid Spin, so these spikes are here to stay as Fortress is going to boom. You didn't have to boom there. If you knew the team, I think you could get away with not doing so. But, you know, maybe also there's an argument for trying to catch a switch in, although I don't think that you would switch the Starmie out there in that position. Thunderbolt coming down as Halbert is going to Flamethrower and kill the Jolteon. Metagross in. It is a Choice Band Metagross with Double Edge. I know ball. What can I say? Charizard in on a Surf. That's not good. Medicham does not kill. Surf gonna do 69 whole percent, leaving the Medicham 1 HP shy of just dying outright to Sand. Gonna sack the Tyranitar for a Starmie entry, and Starmie's just like claiming everything here. Yeah, Surf as well. You don't even have a Hydro miss out. All right. GG to Zets. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe we just want to Aura Farm by going to Blissey on the Double Edge to show that it just kills. If Blissey has Thunderbolt, it's over. I mean, if it has Seismic Toss, it's over. It does have Seismic Toss. It's over. Man, I think Zets... Okay. I'm not going to say that Zets HO is a bad team. But it does struggle mightily into certain matchups. In particular, offensive Starmie. What do you have for a water type that has electric coverage on this team? You know? And I know that offense teams, like, you're fine with not having super duper solid switch-ins for certain threats. But, like, once again, what are you going to do if you run into that matchup? Like, because you don't have anything that... you have Jolteon to outspeed it, but, like, especially when you have something as solid as Blissey to switch into on the Jolteon, you have to get so many plays right to win this sort of matchup. It's a really, really tough matchup for Zet, so I'm not going to blame him for losing it. Maybe blame him for loading the team, though. But shoutouts to Zets. Made it to top 6. You can hang your hat on that, buddy. That's higher than I've ever placed in a tournament, so... I mean, I can't talk too much shit. Although, look at the head-to-head. All right. Last set of the video here is Shitrock Enjoyer, also known as Fredazi, versus my very own Captain Spriek. So obviously I'm going to be rooting for Spriek here. But notably, loser of this set still alive because this is the winner's side. But the winner is guaranteed to make it to the grand finals. So this is winners finals. Let's see what we got here. Come on, Spriek, do us proud. Mence versus Tar. Very volatile lead matchup that both tend to switch out of. Ooh, Spriek actually stays in. Is that banded ments? No, it's not. It's kind of crazy. Oh my lord. Takes the Dragon Claw crit to the chin with your mix. Oh, Jesus. Your mix ments. But you, all right. Spriek is saying in the chat that he had slide. As Fazi asked for it, he asked, did he have slide? Great players, they understand the game and they understand why you would make certain plays, which that play would make no sense if you didn't have slide there. So now it's clicking for me, but unfortunate. This Fortress is going insanio on the Suicune here with the Leech Seed up. Getting its spike off. Going to get Celebi back in. The Ice Beam was revealed on the Suicune, but Celebi is faster. Could go for a recover if it has it. Instead, actually going to switch to Registeel, who is looking very, very good into this Leech Suicune here. Claydol in on Curse. It's kind of crazy. Critical hit. It's even crazier. Hidden Power Brian. Probably, maybe Bug. Could be Ghost. Yeah, actually, you know, it could be Ghost if the last is a Pursuiter. Because apparently this Tyranitar's not. HP Bug coming out, killing the Claydol. As here comes Dugtrio. Finishes off the Tyranitar, but you're allowing the full health Charizard to come in. Instead, Fazi gonna opt for Celebi. As Celebi is just going to click Leech Seed. Nice click into the Jirachi. Gonna go for Giga Drain, maybe anticipating a switch, or just trying to get some HP back on your Celebi here. Does Celebi not have Recover? Perhaps it does not. Perhaps this is the illegal Leech 3 attacks Celebi. Although, I don't know. I feel like, you know, understand that people say that it's not a fantastic set, or rather that it's a very prediction-reliant set. But sometimes you just have the team for it, you know? Maybe I'm feeling myself too much. Maybe I think I'm good and that others are not, which is not at all true. But we're going to see the very strange Curse War here. Double Cursors on Fazi's team with no Skarmory, or Magneton for opposing Skarmory either, which is insanio. We're going to see a switch to Fortress here. We do. Cannot risk dying to the Rock Slide there. But Fortress is going to be 2-hit KO'd by Rock Slide. Celebi's in, though, which will tank a Rock Slide quite well. Jirachi is in on a Leech Seed. Not nice. Could go for Hidden Power Fire. Does. I don't know if Dugtrio would live a Hidden Power Fire if it were to come in. I wonder... This is kind of difficult, right? As Spriek, you would love to get Dugtrio in to trap and kill the Celebi, but I don't know if you would kill a full health Celebi. Suicune is here. Gonna receive the wish. That's really nice. Will you be able to Calm Mind up and just beat with Suicune here? Ooh. Charizard going to stay in an HP Grass on the Suicune. Suicune can go for an Ice Beam here. Should it live? It does. And now Dugtrio HP Bug is a win con for Spriek. It's very uncommon for last mon Dugtrio to actually win a game. Usually, if your last mon alive is Dugtrio, then you've played poorly. But in this case, it's actually a great position, and Spriek manages to take game one off of Fazi, who is, as some people are saying, the best player in ADV today. So, I don't know, maybe my captain's got something to say about that. How about that, huh? All right, game two. Let's see what happens. Mence versus Lead Registeel. Lead Registeel, you see it sometimes on V5 as, of course, the 6th to bolster that structure. We're going to blow up on Starmie right effing now as Tyranitar will come in. Okay, so not V5. It's a Dragon Dance Tyranitar. Is this Slop, but with a Registeel lead? A crit Rock Slide on the Skarmory. That's tough. But I feel like Adamant would maybe do a little more. I'm not sure. This is Endeavor Swampert. And we're going to see a switch to Aerodactyl on the Celebi, missing its whole lead seed there. Oh my gosh. Fazi stays in on Hidden Power flying from the Aerodactyl. If that was a bug, you lose your Celebi there. Maybe he knew. Maybe he knew it had to be flying. As here comes the Pert on a Hidden Power Grass. Gonna get the Salac Berry though. Endeavor looming. Does click it into Skarmory, who's getting sacked to Hydro Pump. Do you have something faster? No, but you have Celebi. If it has, I mean, it does have Giga Drain, right? No, it doesn't necessarily. Has Hidden Power Grass. Might be dead. Doesn't actually die. Okay. Raikou here, though, as Blissey is revealed. All right, so this is Unemployed 6 from Fazi. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Thunder Wave coming down onto the Raikou, which does not have Substitute. This is most likely Slop from Spriek. Definitely seems that way, I should say. Last Mon, most likely going to be Salamence. Rest Raikou, wow. Okay, maybe it's not Slop. It's not something I tend to see there. It's actually going to be Dugtrio. Catches the Celebi switch. That's really, really nice. Because Rest Raikou can 1v1 Blissey. Blissey does not have the firepower to kill Raikou through its rest turns and the sand, even in the sand. Oh, Rock Slide and you miss. That's so tough to see there. Gonna go to Dugtrio. On the Blissey clicking Thunder Wave. Does it have Ice Beam? It does. Kills the Dugtrio. Takes 50% for its trouble. As Aerodactyl's in. You really, really would have liked to see the Rock Slide land earlier. But I guess it kind of transposed to the same position because I feel like Blissey probably just clicks. It probably would have just clicked Soft-Boiled anyway on the switch to Dugtrio. Maybe you could have stayed in with Aerodactyl. I don't know. The crazy plays. Brick Break revealed for Salamence. Might not have Earthquake. Doesn't seem to matter, though, as this Raikou is not going to wake up fast enough. One turn away, man. We could have found one more turn for the Raikou to wake up, but easier said than done. As Tyranitar is going to die to the +1 Brick Break. We're going to say that Fazi hacked there, because that fits my narrative that Spriek's actually the GOAT. Let's move on to Game 3, shall we? All right, playing for winner's bracket life here. Winner guaranteed to get to Grand Finals, and I believe the top 2 are guaranteed to go to Jimvitational. So you're punching your ticket here if you win this game. I think Fazi probably gets in regardless, but nice to not have to worry about such things. Salamence versus Tyranitar, another repeat of this sort of lead matchup here. Both saying HF in the chat, as we see a switch to Suicune for Fazi and a switch to Skarmory for Spriek. That indicates to me that Fazi is playing a more offensive team. This might be an offensive Suicune even. It doesn't actually seem like it. We see Fortress, so maybe I'm just off base. You ever thought about that, Tetrafolium, that you're just off base? It's actually just a Fortress balanced team the whole time. Charizard gonna go for a Flamethrower. Catches Suicune switching in. A lot of players go for Substitute. at the first possible chance with the Charizard, but sometimes you want that Charizard HP. I found that out, almost found that out the hard way, I should say. Found it out the easy way because we got lucky in my team tournament set. Managed to clutch because Charizard is the GOAT. Oh my gosh, doubles up on the Zap Cannon and finds it on Charizard. That's really, really nasty. Charizard is basically dead in the water here. Not much you can do with the Paralyzed Zard. I guess you could keep coming in on the Fortress. And if you get some predictions right, you can do a lot of damage. But that's the thing, is you have to get a lot of predictions right. Blissey is going to soft boil. They're going to stonewall the Suicune, at least for a little while. Spends a Seismic Toss there. As Suicune is going to rest. Another toss. And this is a max HP Suicune who is not going to die to even 4 Seismic Tosses, let alone 3. This is going to aromatherapy. Ooh, okay. So you're actually not that devastated by the paralysis on the Charizard at all. It's quite good. So wondering if we would see a switch to Skarmory. We'll probably see it here, if anything. Getting some chip healing on the Skarmory. Going to be able to roar the Suicune out as Salamence is brought in. I'm going to take a guess that this is a Wish Mixments. I can't say that for certain, but I feel like with Fortress, you kind of like having a Wish Mixments. Nice roar. Catches the Claydol in. Okay, so double spinner as we're going for Surf. Double spinner is going to tell me that there's no Pursuiter on Ferdazi's team, so it might not have Tyranitar. And if it does, it's probably a non-pursuit Tyranitar. Surf coming down as Suicune's going to eat a Toxic. That's going to force the Suicune to have to rest. Skarmory coming in. On a Calm Mind click. Do you have Protect? I mean, even if you do, I don't know if you'd love to take a Surf. Gonna set the Spike anyway. Could Protect here if you have it. Ferdazi's just going to rest, trying to get... Oh my gosh. You would have lost your Skarmory if Ferdazi went for a Surf. Although, as Ferdazi, you probably lose your Suicune if you make such a play. So, not necessarily a misplay from Ferdazi in the slightest. Maybe you can find maybe a slower line to break through the Skarmory. And preserve your Suicune, which is a really, really strong win condition for this game. Full paralysis on Fortress. As Celebi comes in. 3 Celebi brings from Ferdazi. I know he was he was a Celebi innovator just 2 years ago. And then he kind of soured on Celebi, at least as far as his Discord messages would have me believe. But now he's bringing Celebi a lot here. I think Celebi's really, really good on these balanced teams. Anything like Spikes with especially like double Natural Cure is really, really good. And definitely some team styles you should have in your arsenal. Don't know what the last for Dazi could be. Starmie? That would be funny. But probably not. Going to DD and then take some damage on Swampert. Swampert is probably dead if it switches into Spikes, but it's going to protect as Ferdazi's going to just click Brick Break there. Does it have Refresh? No, it has Fire Blast. Okay. I'm going to switch to Fortress here. As last mon for Spriek is Aerodactyl. It's actually pretty good to find the Fortress there. Gonna go for Hidden Power Flying as Fortress is gonna get full paralyzed. You're risking a Zap Cannon here, though, as it does land. Not a fantastic position for Aerodactyl. And we're going to see Registeel last. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Solid Rock Resist. And going to go for Superpower. Critical hit on the Skarmory. That's not good. That's going to delay Skarmory's healing. In fact, you're threatening to kill with the next Superpower. Forced to sack the Swampert there. Really, really unfortunate. But Tyranitar's in. I believe it will live a -2 Superpower. Should Fazi go for such a thing. Goes for Focus Punch as we see a sacrifice of the Fortress. Earthquake coming out, doing big damage to Tyranitar, as Tyranitar is going to go for a Hidden Power Bug. Claydol is dead to Toxic here. Spriek is going to go to Skarmory, trying to preserve the Tyranitar should the Claydol have gone for a Earthquake, but the effect is that Skarmory is not going to be able to reestablish its Spike. It's going to suck for this endgame, though, because a Spike is going to hit a lot of really key Pokemon for you. I don't know if Spriek can win from this position. Maybe, well, I mean, there's an arrow, there's a way. As long as you can get the Aromatherapy with Blissey. Goes to arrow right there and sacrifices it. So much for when there's an arrow, there's a way. Although Blissey, I guess... I don't know. Can you break through Celebi with Blissey here? I don't think so. You're going to have to... You're going to have to get Charizard to kill the Celebi, but I don't know how you can engineer such a thing. More Reginald. Ooh, Heal Bell from Fazi. That's really, really nice to have. The Salamence is no longer on a timer, as Charizard is going to switch into a Hidden Power Grass. Going to go for its own Hidden Power Grass. The Celebi just stays in and Leech Seeds. That's really, really bold to click such a move. But I guess you would live a Flamethrower anyway. You might not have lived an Overheat, though. But Suicune certainly does, especially with this Leftovers healing. Going to compensate. The Charizard may now be in Blaze range. We'll have to see. As Salamence is in on the Blissey. Going to go for Hidden Power Flying, as Blissey's going to go for Thunder Wave. Nice click. Allows Blissey to get a Soft Boiled off on this turn, but it does kind of let the Celebi enter for free. Leech Seed down on the Blissey. Blissey's going to have to switch. We're going to see a switch to Zard, as Fazi just clicks Leech Seed. I mean, I guess... that's not that crazy. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, Blaze Boosted might have killed anyway, but, like, damn. Yeah, Fazi wasn't that pressured to have to click anything else with his Celebi. Oh my god, Superpower does a lot, but we're going to heal, right? Yeah, of course. Crit will kill Blissey, though, notably. We're going to switch to Tyranitar. Oof, Curse. Going to undo the sort of anti-progress that we've made with our Registeel there. We don't take the kill on Salamence. We try to, but we don't manage to find it switching in. Hard to find such a play, though, with the Registeel here. Oh my gosh. Registeel is going to eat here. Yes, it's going to be threatened out by the Charizard. We're going to sack Salamence. Okay. Finally, Salamence is gone. But Suicune is here. Ugh. I don't know if I love Spriek's chances here. Yes, the Blissey can stall out the Suicune, but you don't have anything to stop the Superpower Registeel, who has the speed creep to beat the Blissey. Imagine that, folks. All right, Suicune is probably going to live a Hidden Power Grass. Spriek has to critically hit here. Does not get there. All right, and Charizard is down. Fazi winning. Going to Grand Finals. Spriek going to have to thug it out versus the winner of Feele and Halbert Simpson. All right. Well played to both gamers there. I think this was a lot stronger of a performance than I come to expect this from Fazi, of course. And I come to expect this from Spriek. I've seen him play really, really well. But to get this close as well, like, it's just, I could never. Well played. We're going to get the run back, though. Enperts will be on top. Mark my words. But this has been top 6. Better luck next time to Zets and Zinc, who are 2 great people. Zinc more so than Zets, of course. And we're going to see them at the pinnacle in the not too distant future. As for the rest of you, good luck. We'll see what you have in store for us next time.